you go. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today for this session on IT and digital advice and guidance. This is a virtual open event. My name is Manoj Nanda, and I'm the program manager for the IT and digital area. I'm going to cover today the course content, what's involved in our courses, and the next steps about how to enroll. Also going to touch a bit about how we're going to deliver these courses from September onwards with a blended learning approach to learning. I'm being assisted by my colleague here, Jackie, and who's manning our chat room. And so during the presentation, if you've got any questions, please pop them into the chat box and they'll answer as we go along. I'll also be taking some additional questions along the way, so please send them across to us and we'll have some time devoted to the end of the presentation too for these questions. At the end of the presentation, when we finish up, I'll invite you just to ask things in then. We'll have a few moments there where I can pick up any final queries, and hopefully you'll have what you need to move forward and make your choices for next term. So I've got a bit of an agenda here of what I'm going to be covering. I've got how our provision's been adapted to suit our current context, the climate economically and what's out there in terms of the government guidance with COVID-19. I'm going to talk about the features and benefits of our provision, and it's grouped in a number of different pathways. We've got the basic IT, office skills, women's education, digital skills for career and progression routes, CISCO Academy, courses for freelancers, small and growing businesses, pathways into higher education. I'll then summarise with our delivery model and how we're going to take care of your safety, and how to get specialist advice and guidance and enrol from there. So we've reviewed our provision post 2020 to make it appropriate to the following learner groups. And these are people who are adults seeking well-being and personal development, unemployed adults and adults seeking career change or development, adults who lack maths, English or IT skills because of previous low attainment or because they're new to the UK, and employers, SMEs and voluntary sector organisations. In the future, we have seen some reports that project 9 out of 10 jobs are going to require digital skills. And for local and small business enterprises, they'll need these skills to get their businesses to survive. And so the following groups have been identified for requiring training. We've got here key workers to meet the changing demands of their roles. Those have been furloughed and self-employed whose incomes fall below the London living wage. And those made redundant as a result of COVID and need to retrain into new careers. Also, we have a whole pathway on 18 to 24-year-olds who need to get into university, apprenticeships or employment in this new economy. So I'll start off with the basic IT courses that are very much for the beginners. And these are really about digital inclusion. You can see that with what's changed, a lot of things have gone online, from shopping to government services, banking. And this is obviously not going to go away now because it's also created a lot of carbon efficiency, and it's also more cost effective. So we have got these introductory basic IT courses for beginners. They tend to be about 2 hours long over a duration of 5 to 6 weeks. Perfect for those who aren't confident, therefore we go at a much slower pace. We give opportunities to those who also are developing English at the same time. Our tutors are patient and supportive. And obviously it's like a starting point for you. You can move on to high levels of IT once you feel competent with this. It's really good for those doing it for personal development and for also well-being reasons. Now those who get more confident with IT, so now looking at some of the pathways of careers. So one of the first ones I'm going to examine with you now is this one called Office Skills. And these courses give up-to-date skills to give you the best chances to gain employment within office settings, that's whether it's administrative or secretarial kind of work, general clerk data work, or those sort of roles that involve you working within an office with the latest software. Ideal for unemployed adults or adults seeking a career change or upskilling in a present role. So tell me, identify the kind of people that this course will be appropriate for. Career changes. They've got school-friendly times if you're a parent. We've also got cost-effective evening classes, versions of these courses for professional development, so you might already be working and wanting to upskill. And they're in bite-sized chunks, so you can sequence your learning and do a subject at a time. And again, with higher levels, you get a chance to also get work experience with some of the latest software. We have a strand of women's education too, and this is to do with our partnership merger with Hillcroft, and they run residential courses there. And that's obviously going to go through some changes as we move through the next few months. When that reopens, those courses are providing residential stay for women, and until then they'll be online, and our first term is generally going to be online until we have more clarity on moving back to residential availability. These courses are free for those who are unemployed or on concessions, a wide variety of skills to improve confidence and self-esteem, and they enable them to, you to work towards gaining employment and becoming more independent, and also skills if you've got children to help with managing with them, and obviously they'll have certain needs with IT too. This also can be looked at visually, so I can show you the way that our progression routes work. They go from entry level up to level 3. These are some of the course titles you'll find in these different strands. So for basic IT, this is short courses, one-day courses in computers for beginners. Move on to office skills level 1, or short courses in the office packages. Then level 2, office skills back to work, office skills automation productivity, and more short courses in Word, Excel. And you can see here you get to more advanced courses in some of these software afterwards. The Hillcraft provision is very similar. We have the IT beginners courses and a number of introductory courses in different packages that you can move upwards across the levels to high levels. We've also packaged in some courses which are specifically for ESOL students, and the IT for ESOL students are there, and some qualifications that start at the very low level of entry 3 up to level 1. So this will give me an opportunity to talk about some of the way that these levels work, because it's kind of an academic terminology we use for qualifications. Entry 3 is what you saw up to level 3, but I'll just start with the bit behind that. So for the college we have pre-entry courses also in IT that are in the supported learning department, and they provide ICT and communication skills. So if you're interested in those or aware of someone who would be benefiting from them, you need to contact our supported learning team for those ones. And moving further up, entry 3 courses are those who are ideal often for those who are improving their English skills or really beginning out wanting to get their first IT qualification. Then we move up to level 1, level 2. And really, because with IT we have a lot of technical instructions, we do require you to have at least English at least a level 1 standard here for these level 1 qualifications and level 2. And we do take equivalents such as functional skills, adult literacy, and obviously the ESOL courses too. At the high level access, we do require a level 2 English and Maths attainment, or IELTS for international students, or alternative qualifications again like adult literacy and numeracy level 2 or functional skills. Always, if you're not sure, if you've got a different background, you just need to check and ask for us, and that's sometimes often discussed at interview anyway, if you have a different kind of background that doesn't fit with this mainstream option. So on to some of the other pathways. Let's talk about digital skills in general. Again, these are about employability. We've looked at really trying to provide you with the in-demand contemporary current IT skills. Even if you're working in IT right now and want to upskill, there's opportunities there too. School-friendly times for our day release courses, or we have an evening option. We try and keep our costs down, and we also have a affiliation to something called a CISCO Academy, and I'll explain that a bit later on. That also means that you get some extra resources and materials as part of your course enrollment, and this is free to you, and you get access to a number of other free online learning courses. One of our fields is programming and apps development. So this is some of the more high-level IT now, from level 2 upwards. So programming and apps development, we've got basic IT courses there at the starting point. That sort of gets you going with IT, obviously. And moving up, we put a level 1 introductory courses in various programming languages. We have Java, SQL, Python, and we also do apps development. These courses are sometimes packaged together in our level 2 certificates. So we bundle together some of these items into one course. I'll give you some more information about these two later. These are new courses for this year: mobile app development and UX, which is about user experience, and a data science certificate too. Beyond that, we have the Access course, which is at level 3, and we have also a new Cisco Python programming course called PCAP, which leads to a certification. And beyond that, we really have our progression links to universities that we know and also industry. Data science, this is really, this is a hot topic at the moment. It's really suitable for those interested in working with data, whether it's part-time, full-time, or additional income. These are the units that this course are part of. Some of the terms you might be familiar with or have heard of if you're into IT: big data, which is about large online databases that are cloud-based; data analysis; SQL, which is a very popular programming language; and Python too. And we also integrate within these courses informational sort of support really for career planning and improving your employment prospects. Mobile app development. This is a hands-on project-based course, and this is where you might have a business idea and you want to bring it to life with building an app. So we cover things like the app development itself, visual programming to actually develop the application, user interface to make it look good and be usable, and collaborative working, which is often how these things are made, where you work with other people in a collaborative way. Onto other progression routes now. These are around cybersecurity, hardware and networking, another important field of IT. For cybersecurity, I do run a taster course called the CISCO Academy Taster, and it's a free to enroll course. If you were to come onto that, you could certainly get more information about these in more detail if you wanted. And then they springboard you onto other levels. So we've got the cybersecurity route, which is a level 1 cybersecurity essentials course, hardware and networking, and then the more professionally recognized, we call these vendor qualifications, CCNA security and CCNA cyber ops. If you want to go and do further study at cybersecurity at university, and I've had quite a lot of learners this year wanting to go into this field, and it's obviously very important for the country too, as a skills gap, is the access to computer science will take you onto degrees in things like forensic computing, cybersecurity, and other job sort of pathways relate to that. Hardware and networking is pretty similar. Again, the hardware networking certificate is there, but we've also added now the CISCO IT Essentials pathway, which is a hardware vendor qualification, which then leads you on to the CCNA, which is the Networking Associate certification. And again, if you want to go to university and study this further, you can take our access course and then do networking or hardware at university. A bit about vendor qualifications I've mentioned to you so far. And CISCO, who CISCO are the worldwide leader for networking for the internet, and they have their own purpose-built learning platform, which we really use that as a backbone to our teaching. So we've got these 4 kind of areas here they have courses on. And if you ever want to find out more about the Networking Academy, visit this link here, www.netacad.com. We'll explain to you a lot about what these courses are all about. They have, as I mentioned to you, the CISCO Academy has a blended learning platform. So you have the curriculum designed by the industry and education professionals, multiple languages. They use assessment data, labs and teacher training. They recognize your learning style and they can adapt to it. So it's very well psychologically profiled the way it works. Online assessment and evaluation throughout the course, hands-on labs, instructor training and support, and also the opportunity to take an exam, which you get a discount on if you pass our in-class exams. And you do get our certificates from the college anyway, but the external exams are the international ones that are taken at specialist test centres. A bit about some of the pathways here. You've got this one here, which is IT. Again, it shows you that IT Essentials is a good prerequisite for CCNA ITN, which is called Introduction to Networks. That's the IT Essentials course briefly described there. You do troubleshooting, fixing, installing with computers and devices. You look at common security threats, and you also develop your problem-solving skills using some of our online simulation software. And simulation also with equipment too is also possible with this. And then that moves on to this networking course, CCNA version 7. This course it's quite popular every year. This introduces networking, architecture, functions and components, and skills for configuring routers and switches, which really are the backbone behind networks, how you connect networks together and also make internal networks for businesses. The career pathways that this leads on to is these ones here: entry-level IT support, maintenance jobs, network support engineer, network ops engineer, administrators, and also sales engineers and virtual account managers. This course, this day released course here, this is the content: hardware, software, networks, bit of visual programming in there too, and collaborative working. So these courses, really to give you some practical skills about repair and being able to sort of set your own machine up and work with it, simulate a basic network, and it gives a lot of confidence to start looking at these junior level entry jobs in IT support. Cybersecurity pathway, this is a visualization of how this looks. So we have this Cybersecurity Essentials course that we're offering, and that leads you to one of these 2 options here: CCNA Security, CCNA Cyber Ops. And those 2 are the benchmarks, qualifications that are recognised by industry. These qualifications explained a bit more. So the Essentials course, what you're really learning about here is being able to monitor, detect, analyse and respond to cybercrime. and then prepare for certification. That's really what the course's structure and curriculum is about. But this entry course will give you a bit about the overall picture with cybersecurity, law, defense, ethics, network security. And we find that's a good primer if you don't feel quite ready to jump into these qualifications straight away. And as I said before, these courses are all about being interviewed first of all to check these things are suitable for you. Career pathways, we've got the Cyber Threat Hunter, is a new job title, some of these. So Cyber Threat Hunter, Network Defender, Cybersecurity Analyst, Forensic Analyst, Auditors, and Incident Responders. These are the kind of things that these courses lead on to. And I'll just remind you about this, again, this free taster to find out more if you need to. That's on the 9th September, Wednesday evening. Now, our area in Richmond, we have a high number of SMEs, charities, and single-person enterprises, which we call micro businesses. So we've also put some courses aside for those who are growing businesses or starting up. Now, some of these courses are in the business area. These are things like business startup and PR marketing courses. But in the IT field, we have also courses to bring those learners forward and progress. So it's kind of like a group of learners that are together in a sense. And therefore, we do have opportunities for networking events that are more social. We get speakers in to give specific topics on certain themes and allow you to also network amongst yourselves. We found some really good opportunities for learners to work with each other and help each other out on the course, and also to take their businesses together, maybe as partnerships or small alliances. We try and make these courses cost-effective, flexible for day, weekend, and evening, and give you intensive skills to jumpstart your idea or plan. And they're taught by people who already have experience with this themselves within the industry. Two of the routes here: web technology. So we've got our introductory web design courses, then down to the web technology certificate, which bundles a lot of these things together. We have then the access to computer science again here, which will take you into a university level study on this. University level also implies that you can access things like online learning through Open University that are part-time rather than being entirely full-time degrees. So you can pick up high-level studies at level 4 that way. Programming and apps development. So this is the digital marketing section here. We've got these short courses on WordPress, social media, search engine optimization, analytics, digital marketing. This is in the business department. And a certificate here on digital marketing and social media. I'm going to go over that shortly. We also have an access course again in this field of digital marketing, which will take you to degrees in this area too. And I'll explain some of the degree pathways in a short while about where this will lead on to. So web technologies, we cover these skills. These are quite common skills for web developers and designers. They really get you started. And at level 2, we'll give you some technical projects to work on, and it's a really great idea if you come with a project yourself and have an idea. That way you can build a website throughout the course that you want to make, and it's more purposeful for you in that sense. So we cover programming, it's HTML and CSS, PHP, these are scripting languages, and databases too. So you can create database-enabled websites. Over a one-term course, takes about 10 to 11 weeks, with an embedded section on security too. Digital marketing, this is another one for entrepreneurs. So you'll work on, again, bringing live projects is really useful for this course. People come with a business idea, they want to build their social media platforms for it. They want to make a website. They also get an opportunity to create content for social media. So learning about image, audio and video, how you create those components. And we also have a section on internet broadcasting. So just like we're doing today with you, it's a big field for business to create streams or make webinars to invite people onto them. So we also show you how that is done. That's part of the course itself. Onto the higher education section now. I'm going to cover the access courses. Now we do have a separate virtual information event about this, and you can watch the pre-recorded session if you wish to. And that's much more detailed about entry requirements and pathways and how access courses work. So I'll just overview the ones that we have, and these are full-time courses. They take maybe 2 to 3 days a week. So really, access is about preparing an adult without traditional qualifications to enter uni as an alternative to A-levels, BTECs, or other level 3 qualifications. And rather than having an exam-based course, which is what A-levels are like in lots of exams, you get coursework ongoing throughout the program. You get credits you accumulate, and you'll do things like case studies, reports, essays, research projects, presentations, written tests, and more micro type presentations called Weavers. Entry requirements are higher for access courses. You need to have ideally a level 2 in English and maths, so GCSEs C and above in maths and English tend to cover that. But we do also have international applications. So we look at the IELTS qualification for that one, which is 5.5 or above. Okay, and it's also because universities require these too. So there's no point in you coming to us and then not letting the university accept you if you haven't got the prior attainments. You're encouraged to do the maths courses in English with us or other providers that are out there just to get up to speed. The computing pathway, in terms of the slightly difference in two pathways of computing. One is the Monday, Tuesday, which starts in September. This is a generic core computing path which covers a very broad range of IT subjects. So we cover hardware, software, networks, programming and coding, web design, games development, visual programming. We do video editing on this course and some office applications, English, a bit of level 2 maths, and obviously you'll get support with your UCAS application. Just to say to you, strictly speaking, not all students go into university after doing a course like this. Some of them go into apprenticeships, modern apprenticeships. Some of them also take a year out or go to work straight away. They do feel they have enough skills to enter some of the entry jobs in IT. That does actually also happen. Now there is two pathways for computing. Let me explain to you the other one, which is a little bit more modernized as well and has a maths element. This one here has a 15 maths credit component, which is a big part of this course. But also it has some other new additional content, mobile apps technology, robotics, cybersecurity, data science, and some games development there too. There are some options available. So if you didn't want to do maths, you could pick one of the other ones. You can choose one of either, but generally we're focusing this being our maths specialist pathway, and there'll be 15 maths credits at level 3, which means that you need to be quite strong at maths before entering this particular pathway and able to cope with the speed that this course moves out. Finally, digital marketing and social media is our other access course. This leads into these types of degrees here: marketing, PR, communication, enterprise entrepreneurship, e-business, digital business, business studies straight, and also media technology are pathways you can access through here. The modules we have are kind of a mix of, I would say, business, marketing, IT, and a bit of visual imaging as well on the creative side, because all those things really come together with social media. So business communication, we do management, digital marketing, digital imaging, working with visual images and enhancing them, adapting them, multimedia authoring, search engine optimization. We do work with marketing strategy, and also teaching you about the social media technology platforms that are available so you become more confident with them. Again, UCAS support and some embedded English and maths with this too. So our delivery model for next year, given the current context, most of our IT courses, we've just committed that the whole of the first term in autumn is going to be online. And we call this really, the way this is phrased, it's not distance learning where you're learning remotely on your own. We really encourage the social interaction. So you attend online classes, you have a face-to-face and video, just like we're doing here, and you'll have other students in the room with you, so you'll see like a gallery of images of different students talking. You must have seen maybe Zoom or things like that doing the same thing, and your tutor's there too, so you have a class as normal. And the difference with IT is that in the classroom we would have looked over your shoulder to help you with something or fix a problem or see what you're working on, but we use a screen sharing technology which is within the Microsoft Teams platform, and we can share screens and look at your screen and fix things and just see how you're getting along, much like we would have done in the classroom. That's how we're replicating it. Obviously there's microphones involved too. Any exams that we do, there's not many exams in most of our courses. It's largely coursework based. Exams tend to be much more in the CISCO Academy and those types of vendor qualifications, mainly more about coursework and giving you an ongoing development of skills. Learning materials we provide you are interactive, and there'll be a mixture of videos, quizzes, written material you can watch and read. And once you complete your assignments, you would submit them online, so there's no paper involved, and we also assess and mark online too and return feedback to you. And you get also a chance to have tutorials with tutors. They talk to you, develop a personal connection with you, find out what your needs are, where you're going, and try and develop your individual learning plan to move forward. And they also create social opportunities to have group work with other students. There's breakouts we can organise. We get chat rooms going too. So there's like a kind of a heartbeat to our courses that we keep things moving and keep communication going. In some rare occasions, we might opt for some classroom-based sessions once each term, also for interaction between students too. But that will obviously be something you're notified about. And we have also made some precautions about how we handle the safety around that. Safety one. So the government guidelines we're following to keep classes safe when we do have them is really to ensure the safety of both students, yourselves and staff as we start to return back to face-to-face teaching. And so things like we'll have smaller class sizes, increased cleaning and new hygiene stations, manage entrances and exits to the campuses, spaced out workstations, more online and blended options, optional masks, and cleaning of equipment, which will take place on a frequent routine basis. Now, how to apply, this is one of the questions you might be thinking. So the application process, I've got some links up here. You might remember all of these links. I'm going to click on them right now, but if you can just do searches for these words like IT advice, you'll find some of these things from the words being used here. So we have an online application process, and this link here, we're setting up a weekly opportunity to meet a tutor and get specialist advice, and you simply book that online, and then your name gets sent to us, and then we call you, have a telephone conversation about the course and what's right for you, and that helps us carry out the interview. Some of you might not be familiar with what online learning is like, although this is a one-way webinar from me to you. But the online learning itself is experienced which is off again with other students with you. So if you want to try this out with some other people wanting to try it out, you can jump along to one of these tasters. We run these every so often. There's one coming up, for example, on the 6th of July there. So if you search for the online learning taster or look on our homepage, there'll be some details about that there if you follow the right links. And also those of you who really need some help hands-on with IT face-to-face, because when you're really starting out with computers, it's very difficult to just do often very simple things, and to go online immediately is a bit too much of an ask. So this is why we're offering these IT beginners face-to-face sessions over the late summer and August. And this is really to get you ready to do the classes online and make sure you're supported and have the right equipment too. Once the application process is done, once you've applied for a course, so with all our course outlines, you go and search for a course code. If I take any examples of our courses and you do a search for some of the keywords in them, you search those words in our search engine, the course comes up. Some courses you can enroll for online directly, you can pay by card or you can do a phone call payment. Some courses require you to have something called tutor approval, which is where you have an interview. And for those ones, there's a button that says apply now on a course. Just click on the apply now button and you'll be put into our queue of applicants. Then we tend to contact you back, and that's where you can book your interview slot straight afterwards. Let's go on to the questions now for you. So moving forward, the enrolment process finally. Enrolment process, we have a number of mechanisms for this. So you can pay full fee or apply for a fee reduction. If you're applying for a fee reduction or concession, you need to provide certain paperwork to our admissions team. And that's explained to you once you have your interview, like what the next steps are. You can, if you're paying online, it's straightforward, you just pay with the fees. We again have a phone and payment option with the phone numbers given there for that. And we've got a link for help with fees on our site if you're looking for concessions or think you're eligible for something. We also encourage you to keep up to date with our courses and course information. You can join our mailing list by emailing marketing or following us on a number of social media platforms. So last bit here, so for questions, so Jackie is also here as well, and just seeing if you've got any questions so we can help you to answer these from you. We'll give a short pause now, see what's coming in, and Jackie probably will give me a nudge on the things I need to answer.
Hi Manoj, thanks for that. We've got quite a few attendees on. We haven't had any questions so far, so we're just going to hang out here for a little bit to see if anyone has some questions for us. Just as a reminder, you can ask those questions in the chat box. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Jackie, should I stop my share, Jackie, or keep it open?
You can keep it open. Well, stop it if you like.
Just help me look at the chat window with you. Okay, so I'll be here, folks, for some time to help with the meeting. So to ask questions, by the way, there's a toolbar that's floating. You'll see, and there's like a little chat icon. If you click on it, it looks like show conversation. And when you click on show conversation, it'll allow you to write a question in the meeting chat. Or I believe there's a Q&A section too. Yeah, there's a Q&A section adjacent to that. So click on the Q&A, you can type questions in there also. It's quite possible everyone's clicking on lots of links right now, or searching around on the website, I imagine.
Manoj, it looks like you've done a great job in possibly covering everyone's questions in your presentation. If you want to just wrap up, obviously, if people do have questions after this, I guess they can contact you anyway.
I should probably put my email address up, Jackie. Is that okay? I put my email address up.
Yeah, that's fine. And then if you'd like to do that, and then wrap up. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Okay, folks, just going to share a little text file here. This is my email address to make you find it. So if you want to contact me, there's a big version of it there. It's my email address. So it's manoj.nanda@rhacc.ac.uk, and happy to help you out from here onwards. Good luck and wish you well for your studies. Hopefully see you soon.